little guy.
Oh my God! If I ever go disc,
like,
you know,
start
that way.
So talk about all the cool.
All right, well, let's do the podcast.
That's your cue, Tim.
What episode is this?
You're listening to the Slow Ride Podcast. Bikes, advice, and rumors straight from the source. TheSlowRidePodcast.com and on Twitter at TheSlowRidePod. Enjoy the ride.
Hello and welcome to the 74th episode of the Slow Ride Podcast. This is Tim Hayes in Gainesville, Florida.
Little guy is in Minneapolis, Minnesota, I'm pretty sure.
You know, guys, I think after
spaced
74 episodes, you could just pick up where we're left off.
I thought you would say more than that, but I'm in Minneapolis. Spencer is in Boston.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool. We all know where we are.
So this podcast is off to a swimming start. But, little guy, I hope you're excited. And I know you haven't heard this yet. But have you seen that the Turbo and the Flight Saddle are coming back?
I did actually just see something. Like, I didn't know those particularly. I also didn't know they didn't exist. So I'm not as excited as I could have been. Like, I love the Flight. It is my favorite saddle, and I like the way the Turbo looks, but it doesn't agree with me physically. But I didn't know they weren't still being made. I'm actually really surprised they weren't being made. I just usually get used old ones at the swap every year if I can. So I've been under the impression that they still were being made.
This is like didn't you just got one last week from Spencer?
Yeah, Spencer just gave me one, which is like, it looks like it's been in a time capsule. It's perfect. I never find them that nice at the swap.
No.
It's really nice.
It's brand new, little guy. Come on.
I've never found a brand new one, ever. I don't know. I think I had one that was like close to brand new once, but never. It's going to almost be a shame to put it on a bike.
I was just going to say, what bike are you going to put it on?
Well, I mean, I don't know. You know, the one on my road bike is really sad. The one on my the ones on my cross bike are okay. They're a little ragged. Other people might disagree that they're okay, but my standards, I think they've got a lot of life left in them. You remember the saddle, Spencer, that I had on my cross bike 2 years ago?
Yeah.
That thing was hard up. So the one on my road bike is close to that level right now. So I probably will save this saddle and then debut it, next spring when I get the road bike out for the first time. So it's like extra exciting. You know what I mean?
What's crazy about the Turbo is I've never met someone personally that likes that saddle.
Really? I've had one. It's not the worst, but I don't know. It's just not the thing. I know someone Damien really likes the Turbo-Matic. They're bringing back the Turbo-Matic. I don't actually remember what the Matic part of it did, but I remember it made them all more expensive.
Mm-hmm. That's probably all it did.
Yeah.
So that of course is the big news of the week. So with that, we'd like to thank you for listening to the Slow Ride Podcast. Yeah. And
saddle report.
Yeah.
Well, obviously this is because Interbike's coming.
Yeah.
Up this week. What are you guys excited about seeing? Because I can tell you what I'm really excited about seeing pictures of.
I would love to hear what you are excited about seeing at Interbike as far as brand new product that is coming out.
Well, one, I'm excited because I'm sure like Thun or one of those German companies will be there with just a ton of silly stuff, and we'll get a bunch of pictures. But what I'm excited about is the rotor hydraulic road group set, which they've only released a little bit of info about. Mm-hmm. And it's a couple pictures, but I'm hoping maybe we'll get more teasers. Maybe we'll get some weights. They say it's going to be the lightest the latest group set, the latest disc-only group set. You know
Are
I hate
you
disc,
telling me-
but if I ever go disc, it's going to be a hydraulic group set.
Are you telling me that you're willing to go hydraulic on your road bike before you even go to disc brakes on your mountain bike?
Hey, I don't think I'm ever going to... I just don't want disc brakes in my mountain bike. There's so many cool... old school mountain bikes that I have to have before I ever have some disc brake mountain bike. It's just, I look at newer mountain bikes and I think, I bet that's fast and efficient, but God, it's ugly. It's so ugly. And then you can just I don't know. There's just some cool old mountain bikes. I've got like a list. Of stupid
We'll post that list on our website later.
So Rotor's got a new road group.
Wait, you guys, I should take a picture. One time, I spent a day at the library. You know how it is downtown sometimes. You get pretty slow. I went up to the third floor where the libraries are. The library is third floor where all the magazines are. And I went and looked at like mountain bike action magazines from like 88 to like 93. Going through them to look for ads for strange like CNC'd cranks, like stuff that no one ever even bought. Maybe one person, they probably never reviewed it or anything, but like in the back there'd be a little ad for like Steve's super CNC'd cranks, and they're like pink and they had 9 holes cut in them and stuff. I spent like a couple hours going through flipping through those magazines, so I have a list of like 45 early 90s mountain bike crank companies that are like the pinnacle of when I become a millionaire and I get my 90s CNC crank collection.
I'm looking forward to
this. So far I've only had I had a Kuka crank. You remember this, Spencer?
Yes.
I had the Kuka crank. It was awesome. I mean, I still have it, but I cracked it, and so I can't use it. It cracked.
That's weird.
Pedal. Well, no, everybody cracks.
They don't have replacement parts for this.
I mean, it cracks. No, it's a crank. It's like they can't replace the whole arm. It cracks where the pedal spindle went in.
Yeah.
So, little guy, do these
God.
brands, these brands that you saw, do they still have contact info? Like, write to P.O. Box number 1515.
I know, maybe 1 or 2 of them exist. I mean, like Paul exists. There's like 1 or 2 of those companies that survived, like White Industries survived, and like Paul survived. But then it's just, oh my God, it's off the hook. They're so cool. It's a thing. Anyway, the Rotor group, it's hydraulic. I know there's been a hydraulic mountain bike group, and I forget who makes that. But I'm super
German
excited.
company, whatever they were called.
Yeah, and I saw that stuff in person one time, and it's amazing. Anything hydraulic on a bike, I'm into it. It's weird.
Okay.
Hydraulic rim brakes. Thank you.
Is there anything else, little guy, you would like me to go find for you at Interbike besides hydraulic stuff?
I want pictures of the Rotor hydraulic group set, and just go to like the German section where all the tune and lightweight, just the craziest stuff is. I want pictures of that stuff.
All right.
Okay. All right. Anyway, we can move on to show notes. Spencer, do you have anything you need Tim to look at?
No, not really.
Okay.
All right. Can we move on to the cool stuff, guys?
Oh, was there like some bike races or something?
I want to talk about Heimar Zubeldia being the top placed Trek Factory Racing rider at the Vuelta.
Oh,
Turns out he beat Schleck by like, what was it, 30 seconds?
Nice.
So 29 seconds. So I don't know if you guys remember, but I called it. I said Zubeldia will be the top placed Trek Factory Racing rider. So I have sent you guys emails that you can read later.
Okay.
I don't think you get to read emails for that. I think I just owe you $1. I'm pretty sure the bet for that I owe you $1.
So
you're
anyways,
getting a little
guys,
ahead of yourself there, too.
There's been a lot of Zubeldia news lately, actually.
Yeah.
He just signed his contract. He's going to be around for 1 more year.
What?
1 more year. It's I think he feels he's new to this. Like he's off the front and he's like, wow, this is fun. I can do this for a year.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll actually become an interesting rider now.
Maybe. Yeah,
now that he
his
knows.
last chance.
I mean,
They said in the article it was his 19th season as a pro.
That's awesome. I mean, it's pretty sweet that he's been riding that long.
Do you think he's like the Spanish Jens Voigt? Like, you know that everyone in Spain thinks he's kind of cool and he says like cool, funny stuff, but like we don't know, and then everyone overlooks like his past.
I don't know.
Yeah, like Jens Voigt. Like Jens Voigt's like, oh, geocaching, oh, yeah, and then everyone's like, oh my god, I love Jens Voigt.
Wait, I don't know. Do Germans think Jens is super cool, or do just Americans? And
Well, I think Americans.
Yeah.
I think it's more of an
Oh,
American
I see what you're
thing.
saying.
Tim, do you remember you gave me like a pro cycling magazine or something in maybe 2004? You had one, you had a copy, and you said, "Hey, here, read this." And it's got an interview with Zubeldia and Mayo talking about their future chances.
They're twins, brothers.
It's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet.
Anyway,
So, that's what I got about that.
The big news, Kenny Elisande of FDJ got 16th place overall in the Vuelta, so we'd like to congratulate him for winning.
Woo.
Only 17 minutes and 7 seconds down on overall winner Fabio Aru of Astana.
Womp,
Yes.
womp.
Now,
It was a little sad, right? We all felt a little sad for Tom.
I think we
One-
all felt so sad for Tom Dumoulin, who had a 6-second lead going into Saturday's stage.
Just one too many mountainous stages. Just one.
But guys,
It was great, though. Astana
What?
played that. Amazing.
tell me this isn't one of the greatest tours we've ever seen, or grand tours ever.
I
was
won't
pretty-
tell you that because it was pretty amazing. I mean, yeah, you never see him come down to the last day for real. They even try to play it up that it does sometimes, and it never is. That was crazy stuff.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and the team tactics of Astana on Saturday's stage to get back the 6 seconds were pretty amazing. How they just kept firing riders up the road, and then eventually Aru was able to bridge to them, and then they created the gap. Now, that is exactly what Inner Ring, the blog that we've recommended to people so many times, said Aru would need to do to be able to crack Tommy Dumoulin. And I think that he's pretty spot on, and Inner Ring deserves a lot of credit, because if you read their stage preview on Saturday, they were like, how can Aru win? And they said it's got to be this way. And it was fantastically written.
Yeah, they're usually pretty right on.
Joaquim
Yeah.
Rodriguez gets second, and then Rafael Micah takes third place for Tinkoff Saxo.
Now, were you crying a little bit, Tim? Because Quintana attacked and tried to go to get on that podium, and Micah just glued himself to that rear wheel.
I do like
And
that
there was-
Quintana was active,
Yeah,
and
he tried.
I mean, he was in 9th place. He had that one bad day, so just think if he didn't have the bad day.
Yeah, he tried. He came on really good in the race. The one guy who kind of faded was Valverde, which we all know he always has a bad day, but he had a couple bad days there.
Well, he had to taper down. He didn't want to drop out because he's still in the top 10 of his home tour, but he's got to taper down for Worlds because I think he thinks this is going to happen.
Worlds is pretty good for him, and guys, he did just win the individual Pro Tour 2015 title. I know no one really cares about that.
A lot of racing left.
Yeah.
Well, the only one that counts for the Pro Tour left, World Tour victory is Lombardia. So
It's
he's
just
got
Lombardi?
that.
It's
not
the
Lombardi.
high rank stuff. Oh.
No, because
Well,
those
that's
two
still
races
impressive.
are over in Canada. The two races this past weekend in Canada are now over. So the World Tour just comes down to the 6th monument of cycling, Il Lombardia, in September in Italy after the World Championships.
That's the 5th. That's the 5th one.
Nope, there's six. There's 6 monuments in pro cycling.
I know,
guys.
but that
Discussed
one's the
this
5th.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So-
6 is the Japan Cup.
And that's that's Valverde takes the win in the World Tour standings. Joaquim Rodriguez second, Nairo Quintana third, Christoph fourth, and then Aru takes 5th. And the reason I go 5 deep is the same reason that our friend Michael Bordheimer at Land Softly on Twitter says, Lasai, Slow Ride Pod. So many 5-person podiums in my social media feed this weekend because cyclocross season is here. So, lots of going on. But back to the Vuelta.
Hey, you
What do
guys
you
know
guys-
what place I got? You know what place I got at the cross race on last Wednesday?
5th place, wide angle podium.
Wide angle podium, baby. Yep.
Good job.
Anyway, sorry. Move on.
So do you guys have any other takeaways from the race, the Vuelta itself? I mean, Tom Dumoulin, he's definitely set himself up for a future. Do you think he'll ever be a 3-week contender? Or do you think he's still going to always be kind of one of these 1 week, 2 week contenders with the time trial type races, so like a Torino, Adriatico?
No, I think he's definitely a Grand Tour contender. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that this was like the climbiest race out there, and he still almost won it. I mean, come on. Yeah, I think he's got a good shot, especially at one of these flatter tours with much easier climbs. He's definitely a Grand Tour contender now.
How much? What about you, Spencer?
Oh, I agree. I mean, I think obviously he can hang with some of the best climbers on these climbs, and more importantly, he's always been well known for having a super solid time trial, and that's the one thing you need in addition to be able to climb. It's why some of these guys, mainly French guys who think they can win the tour, are never going to.
Yeah, or Rodriguez, right?
Now with Rodriguez, but Rodriguez, hung on strong for a pretty close second place. Obviously, he fell so deep in the time trial, but I just think that the Dumoulin, great future, all of that, real exciting. But I'm wondering how much it hurt with the team he was on. Not as much as like, oh, he's a failure and the team failed, but they were obviously more set up for a Degenkolb sprint train victory like happened today in Madrid. And so they had to kind of transfer over. And I remember Lawson Craddock, who we'll get to in a little bit later in the show, Lawson Craddock was kind of like the only GC guy that was, or like climber that was there to really help Dumoulin. And, look at Saturday, he was so isolated right away. So do you think if a stronger team was around, Dumoulin would have won?
I think it's a good chance. Did you see the tweet that Lawrence Ten Dam had during the stage on Saturday?
Yeah, he was talking about.
It just said it said something just like having a strong team is important.
What team is he on?
Yeah, he's on the Lotto team, the Dutch Lotto team,
the Lotto team that offered to assist Giant Alpecin.
Which was weird because it's like, once you say it, you can't do it. But if you just didn't mention it, then you could have done it. It felt like they were trying to get the credit for like helping him because they're all Dutch, without actually having to help him. Didn't it feel like kind of weird? Like, we'd help you, we want to help you, and then they have to be like, no, don't help me, we'll get in trouble. And then they're like, oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah,
nothing happens. I don't know.
The Vuelta guys, top placed American, Larry Warbass, in 38th place, 1 hour and 31 minutes down.
It's Larry Warbass. I've never heard that name.
He was in the break. He got third on one of those stages when they had the big breakaway. He raced for Hincapie with, I believe Lawson Craddock was on the Hincapie team too. So
cool.
Lots of
That's
American
good.
potential coming, but I think Dumoulin
Craddock had a great race. Let's give it to him. I mean, he rode really hard for Dumoulin. Him and Degenkolb, like that second, third to last, whatever, Friday, like those two guys got over the climbs and were able to lead Degenkolb out to like steal those couple seconds on Aru when Aru cheated. That was awesome.
How did he cheat? I didn't see it.
He got a push or a Madison sling, one of the two from Sanchez. Maybe he didn't want it, whatever, but he totally got a push.
So it was totally dirty.
It was just the footage wasn't very good, so you couldn't really prove it, and he didn't get sanctioned because of it.
Films of Bigfoot kind of thing, like grainy picture, like I'm pretty sure I saw it.
If you watch the whatever stage that is, Friday stage, 1.5K, it's like 1.6 or 1.5K to go, you'll see like in the back, because it's the cameras on the front and you can just see Dumoulin powering away from everybody. You'll see what looks like Luis Luan Sanchez, who Tim's been really into lately. So
I forgot
he's
who that was.
Bound to have something good happen to him soon. It looks like he pushes Aru right as Aru is getting tailed off a little bit off Dumoulin. Just saying.
What cool stat, guys! 158th place, the Lantern Rouge of the Vuelta, finishing almost 5 hours down. A clear 20 minutes behind 157th place was Boy Van Poppel of Trek Factor Racing. Think about that for a second. 5 hours down. If it was just an entire race where they just had to run nonstop 5 hours, that'd be a long, miserable time waiting.
So I feel like we've been on some group rides with you like that, Tim.
Oh, I'm never that far behind. I've had one bad group ride with you guys. So,
One bad. Wait, the one
Team-
where are we talking about? The one where you broke your derailleur?
yeah, that was a bad one. That was a really bad group ride because my derailleur broke, so I got to ride home. And then I guess you guys were
And
saying
Puppy
that a
took
friend
a
of
ride
ours,
home.
was just kind of sitting on the side of the road, like I can't go anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Uh,
tough
that
things.
was a 60-mile ride that took us 7 hours.
It was a really bad team.
I got home. That was like before I had a cell phone. I got home, and Caitlin was like, "I was worried you were dead." Like, weren't you just riding to Afton? And I was like, "Yeah, it was a tough one."
It was a tough one.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Did you guys watch the final stage today with the intermediate sprint that decided the points jersey? That was pretty cool.
I did not. That's pretty cool.
Alejandro Valverde won the points competition by 2 points, and I guess Joaquim Rodriguez had the lead going into the intermediate sprint, but he got like a flat, so Valverde attacked and takes the
weird.
green jersey.
God, those guys must just hate each other.
Yeah.
They just totally hate each other.
You think they do?
I hope they're both. I know they do. I'm pretty sure it's like confirmed official. They do not like each other.
So
They've got some bad
let's
blood
talk
in the
about
past.
let's talk about Worlds coming up, right? So we've got a live show at the Coalition Theater on the Friday of Worlds, and it starts at 10 p.m. And there's a lot of cool things that are going to happen. There's a lot of VIPs that are coming. It's definitely the place to be. And the sixth man of the U.S. National team, who we thought was going to be Chris Horner, I was hoping for Eric Marcotte, is actually going to be
Still funny.
Lawson Craddock. Lawson Craddock
Which makes
of
sense, kind
Team
of, sort
Giant
of, but
had
he's
a very
probably exhausted.
very strong Giro. And he gets, but it's probably a pretty cool honor for him to be able to race on home soil in the World Championship. So I don't know if he's as likely to win as Chris Horner, but he is probably as likely to become America's next most popular cyclist now that Chris Horner has fallen by the wayside. So
That's possible, yeah.
that knowing what we know, guys, as far as competition and the World Championships coming up, who is your hot pick for winning? You're on the hot seat, little guy.
Can I say Tim Wellens? Because he crushed it today at the Montreal race, and I really like him as a rider. And I
Do
kind
you
of
think that he'll
all
be the
those,
protected leader, though?
I don't even
of
know if
Team
he's
Belgium?
on the team. I have to pull up the stats. If he's not on the team, that's crazy.
I'm pretty sure he's not.
That's craziness. They're gonna have to rethink that. Though, who isn't Thies Benoot on the team, I think? And he finished like 5th today, another Lotto Soudal rider. So I just think
that's your
anyone
hot
on
pick.
anyone on Lotto Soudal. But like if you look at that Montreal race and the Quebec race from 2 days ago, it's like all the guys you want to be fast right now that you expect to like come to Worlds trying to put in a play are like flying. Like the top 25 from today's race are within 15 seconds of each other, and it's like everybody you've heard of ever is in that group. It's crazy. Like everyone's flying right now. It's going to be a good race. It makes me
Spencer,
excited.
who's your pick?
Well, my brain says Peter Sagan is going to win this race, hands down, without question.
I'll go out there and say, I think it's going to be Degenkolb. I think that
so?
the climbs, I've been up the climbs, 24% on 24th Street. You got Libby. I think that it's going to be him. I don't think Cavendish has a chance. I don't think Sagan could be good. I just think Degenkolb is a pretty good lock, and you've got the entire German team working for him.
Been riding so iffy, like hit and miss lately. Van Avermaet has been riding really well. Cavendish has kind of hit or
Is this
miss
going to be
too,
one of these
actually.
world championships where it's a guy that wins it that just doesn't do anything? Because I think that Kwiatkowski has honored the jersey this year, right? Like he's been wearing it and he's kind of been at the front of races. You know the world champion's there. You're like, wow, that's pretty badass. Like he deserves it. Is this next year? Is it going to be one of these seasons where it's just like, wait, who won it? And then he ends up on.
I think somebody good will win. I mean, it's I don't know. Yeah.
All right.
I think Kwiatkowski, but you know what? If you look at the Belgian team start list, and then you look at the race today, only one of the Belgian team guys finished high up, and it's Gilbert. Otherwise, all the other Belgian riders that did well in Montreal today are not on the world's team. I feel like they've got to be a little nervous looking at their team right now, because some guys are flying.
Yeah. Tomke's got this sewed up though, so
No,
I don't see
look,
why they're nervous.
But look at the race today. That's a hard race in the rain with some serious climbing. It's hard. Wellens wins. You've got Jan Bachlan's in fourth. I don't think he's on the list. No, he's not on the list for the Worlds. In fifth, you got Thies Benoot. He's not on the list. Then you got Gilbert in ninth. But then you got 11th. You got at the same time Rollins. He's not on the list. They've got Belgium has a problem in that they could field 15 teams that could win.
Yeah.
But so you would say a portion of Belgium should break away.
But I feel like you look at the Belgian team right now, and Benoot is on it, but I don't know. I feel like they made some. I don't think Tom's a good pick. I don't think Greg Van Aert's a good pick right now. I don't think Stein Vandenberg's a good pick. Are they going to pretend? Are they going to make Stein think it's spring? Because he can't ride after spring. He's going to be confused.
Hey, this is Mo Bruno Roy, and you're listening to the Slow Ride Podcast.
Well, they're going to spray down the cobbles. They're going to be extra slick. If you like this in-depth coverage of the upcoming World Championships, you need to come to the Coalition Theater at 10 p.m. on Friday, September 25th. And it's going to be amazing. We're going to let you know all you need to do, all you need to know, and where to watch the race. We're going to have crazy special guests, not including TJ Van Garderen, Dan Craven, Taylor Finney, Greg LeMond, Jan Ulrich,
Andre Kashinkin.
Ricardo Rico is going to join us on Skype. It's going to not be an amazing event.
Oh my god! Can you imagine if we actually got Rico on the telephone? All the dumb shit that would get just blabbed out. That'd be amazing. Anyway,
so Lawson Craddock takes it. Richmond, Virginia is going to be awesome. Guys, we talked about Vegas earlier with Interbike. The first ever UCI Cyclocross World Cup is coming, and the start list is stacked, including a Belgian team that has 14 guys, and then we've also got the Netherlands team, including world champion Matthew van der Poel. And we know for a fact that the Telnet Fedea team has been training for the last month in Colorado, and so these guys are going to be all looking good, and topping it all off, you have a huge American men's team. And then we didn't even get into the women's field, which is also stacked.
Yeah, I still think it shouldn't be a World Cup. I think it's kind of stupid. It seems like a dumb race, but I'm just a grumpy old person that doesn't like disc brakes, so...
I like that there's a World Cup finally in the United States. I think it's pretty cool. Are there better opportunities? Sure.
Here's what I think.
Are there better? Wait. Are there better courses?
There's better races.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. Are there better promoters? No. Because if there's better promoters, they would have been able to get the money to get this pulled off. And Vegas has been able to pull it off. And they deserve a lot of credit on that.
Vegas sucks. It's not a good race. It's not a good race. It shouldn't be a World Cup.
So what should be a World Cup in the United States?
Providence.
Great. Why isn't Providence a World Cup race?
They will be next year.
Great. Are they right now?
Wait. Do you know? Is this do you have deep knowledge?
This has been on the cycling news.
Yeah, they've talked about it, but they need to still get the... I mean, they've also been talking about doing 6-day racing in Vegas for the last 5 years. Every year there's always the press release.
anything
Like,
with
is this gonna
track
happen?
cycling will never happen. We all know that.
No, but the point is that like one of these like serious going to happen? Because I swear we've kind of heard them talk about bringing a World Cup race to Providence before. I just, they got the money to put together a World Cup race. I'm pretty excited for it. I wish the course was better, absolutely, but it's pretty sweet.
The course was better, and the crowd was better, and everything was better out there.
Yeah, I just wish it was like a cross race. It just feels like I don't know. It feels kind of embarrassing. It's like inviting the cool kids over, and like you invite the cool kids over, and like the only cool album you have is like Led Zeppelin 4, and it's cool, like it's pretty good, but like once it's over, like that's it. You don't have anything else. You got to put it on again.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're like, whoa, dude, like you don't have any other albums, and you're like, no, my brother did.
The coolest thing about this whole situation, as sad as it is for American cyclocross, is that we are seeing guys like Van der Haar racing in Portland right now. We're seeing, Bosman's racing Nittany Cross in Pennsylvania. We're seeing Boston's racing in Rochester, New York. Like, this is awesome. Like, Euro guys are just kind of coming over and testing the waters. They're destroying everyone. There hasn't been a race they haven't won yet. Which says something about the level of cross here still. Yeah. Despite how many leaps and bounds it's taken in the last 10, 20 years, we're still a big step behind. But it's really cool to see those guys showing up at like almost, they're UCI races, so it's not local, but kind of the local races,
Yeah.
So, it would be great once Providence comes on board, but doesn't the World Cup in the United States, it would have to be an early season race, right? Remember, there was going to be the race in Montreal that got canceled, but like this whole idea was that you would have kind of two races that it would be affordable for teams to come over from Europe to come do this race, right? So Providence would have to move weekends.
No.
Yeah, probably. But that's probably not a big deal. What would they have to do? They'd have to bump like Charm City or something?
Well, what's wrong with making something like Gloucester and Providence both World Cups or both whatever?
Well, I agree.
Probably got to be a
that
money
would be
problem.
Cooler. But
I
like
don't think
Vegas
Gloucester
isn't going to give
one.
this up.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Vegas.
That's why
Vegas is going to hold on to this forever. No, I agree with you, Spencer. It's like now that we have this Vegas thing, we're going to be stuck with this stupid Vegas thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And I would rather
maybe
we just never had it.
Maybe Interbike leaves Vegas though. I don't think that
maybe
I don't know. A promoter is. If the promoter gets something, I feel they should be applauded on it. I really wish the course was better. And no, I'm not a UCI experienced racer, but I am a UCI experienced spectator, and I have fun there.
Well, I'm sure it's still fun. I don't know. It just doesn't feel. I'm just feeling like a whiny traditionalist here. It just doesn't feel like a cross race. I don't know what it feels like.
Little guy. Come on. It has 2 flyovers. It has 3 staircases. It has barriers that are uphill. It has a wall ride. What more do you need at a cross race?
I've never done a wall ride. That would be pretty cool. I would be
what's
so
the
afraid.
uphill? Is the uphill barrier up to like the 180 where all the crowd is, and then they bunny hop? Where are the 3 staircases?
So when you go up the uphill barrier, you do the 180, come back down, and go back up again, and there's stairs there.
Oh, okay.
Then you go out across the field past the pits, and there has historically been stairs
what time
on
across the field? You only go across the field like 8 times.
The time after the stairs that I was just talking about. On the other side of the field, straight across from those stairs, there's another set of stairs. And then on the, I don't know if the western side of the park, kind of closing out the lap, there's the final set of stairs leading you back up to the top of the bowl to the start-finish area.
So there's 2 flyovers?
There's been the spy-over and the other flyover.
Wait, it's called the Spy-over? Because is it sponsored by Spy Optics?
Yeah.
Okay. Because if they wasn't sponsored by Spy Optics, I was going to be really disappointed in whoever is the marketing director.
Is there any asphalt at all?
There's about 10 feet of kind of a sidewalk or bike path kind of. But yeah, other than that, it's 100% grass. No, start is on grass.
So this is just like a local race.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah, it is. They found a landowner that was like, yeah, sure, I guess. And they threw some imported sand in there the last couple of years too. So we got a fake sand pit.
Imported?
Yeah.
Where's it from?
I don't know, the sand quarry. And they throw it in the middle of the grass field.
Who do you guys think is going to win the women's side of things? Kant?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's hard to guess on this race because it is so unlike all the other races, especially like I imagine the Euro riders are going to come over and crush everybody, but sometimes the Americans are just better on this, on this weird, like very American course. Like I feel like the Euro riders would be like, where's the mud? Where's the tricky downhill? And they're just like, what? We're doing a grass crit? And they get smoked. You never know.
Well,
they've all done grass crits before. It's not.
Well, I know people have done grass crits, but it's a different kind of racing.
So here's who you got. You got Kant in the race. You have Helen Wyman, Katarina Nash, Compton, Antonio. You have Eva Lechner of Italy. Remember, she had actually a pretty good Worlds, and then she crashed out with like a lap or two to go, where she kind of got dropped from the lead pack. And then you have Catherine Pendrell, who's also a well-known mountain biker, of Canada. So you have a pretty stacked, like, top-level field, but I just don't know if Compton's going to be able to take over Kant. I mean, Kant is pretty amazing.
Maybe. It's she'll have the crowd rooting for her too, that can't discount having the favorable crowd throwing the beer not on you, but on the other riders.
Totally true. Hey, will there be beer being thrown during the race?
Yes. Come on, we're in America.
If there is, this race should be permanently banned from the calendar, all calendars.
They would never do that.
It needs to be, though. That was such an embarrassment last year, and if we invite the actual entire world stage over and do it again, man, I don't even know.
Go Team America, man. We could do this shit.
Hey, you know what could be amazing? You guys could totally be agent provocateurs. Like, just show up and, like, wearing your, like...
I couldn't even do that as a joke.
It would feel pretty terrible,
I
have to say.
Yeah.
After being someone that's had people yell stupid shit at me while I'm racing, where it goes from just being funny to just those times where you're like, God, you're just the worst person right now. Like, I'm just like about to vomit trying to run up this hill just to get maybe last place in this race. And yeah, it's like, oh, like if somebody threw a beer at me, I would just lose it on them.
Oh.
I don't understand that
nice thing and track them down and stare at them.
So is "you suck" the worst possible heckle that you can tell someone?
Yeah. It's not even a heckle.
I would think so.
Like, at what point does it become like kind of like you can do it ironically? Hey, Spencer, you suck. Like at what point is it kind of like... We would probably
yell it to each other, right? Yeah, that's probably something we would yell at each other. Only because it's the worst heckle. Just like I would yell, work together if I saw one of you all by yourselves in a bike race.
Shift to
that's clever. You suck isn't clever. That's the difference.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I'm saying, like, because it's not clever. It's kind of like doing the work together. Like, do you think that at some point you can say "you suck," but say it so like just dejectedly, like "you suck"? That then it would be kind of a pretty good heckle.
No, probably not.
Yeah, probably.
It's not. It's not good. Be more creative. I mean, at least. Yeah, I don't know. Just be creative. Come on, people. Be creative.
Alan Barton tweeted us earlier today. He said, "Hey guys, stoked for Team Sunglasses scoring a top 5 in the Slow Ride Podcast Fantasy Vuelta League. Team Sunglasses." And of course, that means it's time to check our standings for the Vuelta. The speed limits. Rosa takes the win by a mere 102 points over Chocolate and Cheese of Brandon Thornton. And then our good friend Luke of Roller Derby takes a solid 3rd place for the final step on the podium. before Team Sunglasses, and then Peter Zalka Poprod of Philippe. Congratulations to Keith Richards, my business partner at Swift Cycle, for a solid 6th place. He was really disappointed to find himself cheering for Aru on the final few days, but he had him on his team, so he wanted to take advantage. Spencer Howe takes first among the three of us with 6,116 points. I take a kind of distant second of about 5,000 points. A little guy all the way at the bottom. Not all the way in last place. There's still some people underneath you. But you did all right, little guy.
Thanks for telling me how poorly I finished and telling me how I did all right. That feels really sincere.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of sincere. I thought I didn't know there would be that many people underneath you, but you actually did okay. Last place goes to Podium Bike Suck of Mike T, who only had 1,800 points. So a lot of the folks that are at the bottom picked out Chris Froome or Nibali, and then they ended up falling flat on their face, like Peter Sagan.
That's me.
Spencer, did you have a chance to write up any paragraphs for us, or you want to get that next week?
Yeah, we're going to have to do that next week.
Or maybe we can do it at the live show at Richmond, Virginia. I also want to say...
thanks, Tim. I appreciate that, Tim.
Yeah, we need to come up with things to talk about while we're there. The Velo Games was fun this time around, but, with Nibali leaving and Froome, and you look at the whole level of the Vuelta, it makes me wish that maybe we just did the Tour of Britain Velo Games, because we all could have picked Mark Cavendish, who for the 15th straight race seems to have crashed himself out. Mark Cavendish leaves it all out there on the ground, apparently. He hit a parked car on a stage, and then he dropped out, which is very sad. And you don't like seeing any riders go down, but man, does he have a prevalence to find himself on the ground.
He does lately. You guys think
it's not just lately? I mean, he's like.
No, it's. I feel like it's more and more lately. You think it's because he's getting older and he doesn't quite have the speed he used to, and he's kind of trying to, make up for it by maybe taking a few chances that he didn't used to do or something.
I don't know. Did you guys? I don't know. Did you see his quote about how the Vuelta was stupid though, and about how it's only for guys that don't do well at the Tour. And it was too hilly, so that's why he didn't go, because it's dumb. And
stupid.
Yeah, it was pretty hilarious. So.
No, I didn't see that. And he's, every time he does something, like every once in a while, it makes me think maybe I can cheer for him, and then he goes and reminds me why I've never liked him. I don't know. He just can't ever get on my good side for more than like a day.
Yeah. Well, Cavendish, the talk, guys, it's really starting to form up that he's going to be going to MTN Quebeca. So he's going to ruin one of the cool teams that are out there that we all like. So we'll see how that goes.
But I heard from a credible source that it would never happen. So it won't happen, right? Yeah.
I also heard from a credible source that the brothers on Movistar were going to split up, and one was going to go to Sky, and then all of a sudden that didn't happen either. So
talking about the Visconti brothers?
Heard that too.
Yeah, you can't trust those rumors, Timmy.
Are you talking about Visconti brothers?
No.
Quintana?
No.
What brothers on Movistar?
The Iziguar.
I don't even know who that is. I only know 3 riders on Movistar.
John
Sutherland,
Iziguar.
Nairo Quintana, Alejandro Albert.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Well, it wasn't one of those, so.
The final night of the Velodrome was this past Thursday, and did you guys see the photo that the Slow Ride podcast tweeted of fat bikes on the Velodrome? Is this a thing of the future, or is this the end times?
It's kind of end times. It's a little sad.
Do you have any interest,
glad I wasn't
Spencer,
there to see
as
it.
the only one of us that's had a fat bike, of riding a fat bike on the Velodrome? Do you think there could even be fun?
I'm sure it's fun. Riding the Velodrome is pretty fun, so I don't know. riding a fat bike on it's probably.
Do you think you could get it all the way up to the rail?
I wouldn't.
Oh my god.
There's no
That
way
would
I would ever
be-
do that. But
You couldn't. Do you think you could keep the? I mean, you have to go at least like 13 miles an hour, right? Isn't that the legend? You have to go 13 to keep it up in the corner without floating down.
well,
but to
that's
keep it
on
up
a
at the top,
200 psi road tire, you know.
yeah, that's on a trek bike that weighs 9 pounds with 200 psi's, right? So you're just floating around the corners. What? God, can you imagine trying to do that on a fat bike?
No,
That
you can't.
sounds terrible.
Basically, I just
Yeah.
said that. It's not
Yeah.
possible.
Ugh. All right. On a
Spencer, your
day-to-day
cross race
basis.
today, was there any bottle feeds?
No, it was about 60 degrees and overcast and kind of raining all day. So perfect cross weather, but no feeds.
Did you get to race?
Yeah,
Oh, nice. How did you do?
I finished in the top 10.
Because you're doing this. You're doing
right.
single speed, or are you doing masters now?
Single speed.
Awesome. Good
Rocking
job.
the one cog because it's free.
Rock- It's free,
No, it's not.
Free to rock the one cog. It's always free.
but it's a $35.
I'm
It's
pretty
a
sure.
$35 tax.
Costs money,
Yeah.
right?
That's a
Yeah.
UCI rule. I'm pretty sure that it should
Yeah.
always be free to rock the one cog. But
Well, yeah. Totally.
USA Cycling really screws the pooch on that and charges us $30 like everybody else. So
How many
It's
were in
weird
the
how
field?
it's free in Europe.
yeah,
How many were in the field? Did you get the whole shot? Like, what was the? You happy with your performance?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. It was like a 30-person field. I didn't get the whole shot, but I was in the top. I don't know, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there. Good enough.
Nice. Well, good
Did
work.
you have to shoulder the bike? I mean, could you have brought a water bottle cage if you'd needed to?
This was an American course here in America, so I did not have to shoulder the bike whatsoever.
Or get off the bike other than a barrier?
There was one set of barriers that required dismounting.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was on the bike kind of course, yeah.
Were you frustrated by the amount of geared riders that decided to opt into the single speed race later in the day? AKA the Etheridge response.
No, there were a
I
few
forgot about that
demos.
controversy.
Yeah, Craig Etheridge, so
That
sad.
was an old fashioned good type of
Oh,
controversy.
just a good old fashioned
was-
controversy.
It was nice. Some fast guys definitely did jump in after the elite race into the single speed with some zip ties and everything, which is awesome. I like to see that. I like to see them, trying new things and thinking outside the box. And also, it gives me a good chance to beat some guys who are generally way faster than me. So that was fun too.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
How'd your better half do?
She did very well. She got third place in her single
Nice.
speed race, and
Awesome.
also got a top 10 in her race earlier in the day.
Sweet. That's cool. I figured
we-
she'd get some good results. So.
We had a good day
Cool.
out on the bikes. Yeah.
That sounds pretty
Well,
good.
that's pretty awesome. And then, do you guys have anything else you want to? We've talked Richmond Worlds. We've talked about cross racing that's coming to the U.S. We've talked about the amazing Vuelta that we got to experience. Talked about Velo games. Overall, I think it's been a pretty good week of racing. Little guy's favorite saddle is back on the market.
Yep,
So he's
that's
going to
cool.
be able to get one that's not cracked.
Well,
that's
Tim,
not. Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't bring up some of the most interesting racing that happened this week. USA Cycling Masters Nationals had an interesting result the other day.
Oh, that's right. I mean, how
Okay.
could we not bring up Masters
35
USA
plus.
National 35 plus Criterium National Championships in the Masters race? Little guy, do you know who won?
No, I have
All right,
no
let's
idea.
describe Spencer. Let's like do a describe.
Okay.
Little guy, you got 20 questions. All right, 20 question
Okay.
game to see who wins. Go.
Was he from Minnesota?
No. One question.
Does he work for USA Cycling?
No,
No,
but
two
that's a good
questions.
guess. Yeah.
That's Steve Johnson.
Is-
Nice try.
Is he
That's
Chris
not
Horner?
bad. No.
No, that's 3.
Does he ride for a pro team?
No. Let's say no.
No.
Did he ever ride for a pro team?
Depends on how pro you want to describe it
did-
as. Like a
you ever
Continental
get-
Pro team.
Paid. He got paid.
Probably, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
he's
say that.
probably getting a little money.
I'm never gonna get this. You guys.
You still
what
got
kind
15 questions.
Does he ride a GT?
No.
No.
Have I ever met him?
No, but you've been in the vicinity of him. Sure. You've seen him at races.
Have I ever raced a cross bike against him?
No.
No, he's a roadie.
Spencer,
has he done the Nature Valley Grand Prix?
Yes.
Indeed, yeah.
You're at 9.
Has he ever won the Nature Valley Grand Prix?
No.
I like the real problem with this is
I know questions.
I know like
ask
one
some appearance or ask
did the guy with the facial tats win?
No, that's David Klinger, but you're getting a little bit warmer. That's
you're on
11.
the track, yeah.
Yeah, like so think of that type of ilk.
Did Meyerson win? I don't know.
No. Oh God, no.
Doesn't have facial tats, so I don't know. I don't know any domestic racers.
So here's the thing I would ask. I would ask a question like, has this guy been banned for doping before?
Okay. Has this guy been banned for doping? I still don't know yet.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Has this guy raced for a team that was filled with ex-dopers and dopers during its heyday? Yes.
Did he ride for Rock Racing?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say that maybe he rode for that Amora McDonald's team or whatever that's full of dopers.
This segment, little guy, this segment had a lot of potential, and it's just this bit has gone down the drain.
I have
this
faith.
would take questions because I know like if this was like 20 questions Euro Rider,
right,
I would have nailed it by now.
How many questions does he have left, Tim?
I'll give him another 3.
Okay.
I mean, at this point.
What do you got?
You've narrowed down. He races for Rock Racing. He's got
previously
tattoos. He's 35 plus. He's been busted for doping.
Can I pull a pro cycling stats real quick here and just look?
My
Seems
God.
like cheating.
The Rock Racing team. I don't know. Tyler Hamilton? I mean, come on. I don't know anyone that rode
You don't remember Kaylee Leo Grant?
Oh, well, I remember the name when you say it now, but I don't. I would have never been able to say that.
This dude won the Masters National Championship at Downers Grove like in 2005. That's what got him the contract to Rock Racing.
Did he beat Hannah? Damn it.
That was the year that Hannah got second.
Hannah's selling his cross bike on the local thing if you guys are interested or anybody else is interested.
Anyways,
Spencer,
I know you have the duty to edit this, so let's just do a recap.
Yeah.
Hey, Spencer, thanks for editing that bit that totally failed miserably. But we were playing 20 questions with a little guy to see if he could guess the new Masters 35 Plus national champion.
How did it go, Tim?
Oh, it went swimmingly well. On the
you guys gotta leave that
9th question, he got Kaylee Leo Grant.
Good job, little guy.
Leo Grant. Yeah, I've heard of him. So wait, how is anyway? So he's still riding. Who's he ride for these days?
Who cares? Some team that shouldn't exist. Anybody that employs that dude, go away.
Yeah.
I can't believe they let him race. I can't believe they announced it that he won. Like they weren't. Like I hope they're testing at Masters Nats. Is all I'm going to say about that.
They can't just pretend like because they don't like someone, be like, we're not going to announce.
Well, they could if they banned him for life, like they should have.
Well, if they banned him for life, but they didn't. Why didn't they ban him for life though?
I don't know
if
why.
Distributing.
That is a good question.
Here's a good question. Did Doug Beck get banned ever?
No.
Because he was distributing, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a vet.
He got caught by the FBI, not USA Cycling.
So, Doug Beck used to run a website called animalkits.com, and then he'd show up to the velodrome to race. Animalkits.com was pre-packed.
Animalkits.com?
Yeah. And it was pre-packed steroids for your animals from vet.
Yeah, like horses and shit. Yeah.
And then long story short, like the
that's
rumor
why his nickname
mill
was the Animal.
Yeah. He used to run he used to be all over the local message board. So the Animal made animalkits.com, and he would show up to the track totally faster than anybody for like 2 laps. And then he'd go home and go on the message board. And it was great. It was an amazing time to be alive. Animalkits.com.
So
That's
if
pretty
I
much-
go jump in the Wayback Machine, can I go to animalkits.com? How can I do
Probably.
this?
Not if you want the FBI knocking on your door. Like, I wouldn't do that.
Do you guys think Dougbuck.net? It seems to be somebody else. Damn it.
Well, we already moved to
Okay.
Ohio or something like that, so he's still.
Oh, that's true. They don't have the internet in Ohio.
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool. I didn't know he had such a good domain name. I can't believe he got rid of that.
Yeah.
That's the thing I didn't
And then
really know about.
They flagged him for buying all kinds of weird chemicals because they thought he was making GBH or whatever the day rape drug is. And,
Yeah.
found out he was just making steroids for cyclists, and they were like, "Oh, whatever." Let him go about his business. So
Good old
No.
Minnesota drug running, I guess. Oh man, what a sad sport
Yeah.
we live in. I mean, if you think about it. Oh man, what a horrible, horrible thing. So, anyways, do we have anything else we want to talk about? Because we totally got off on some crazy tangents in this week's episode of the Podcast.
I don't.
But we have a
I
live
don't
show.
think we have anything. We got a live show, yeah, on the 25th. It's gonna be great. You should come, all you
true.
people.
Be pretty amazing.
it'll be Friday
Yep.
night in Richmond, Virginia. After the Ride the Cobbles ride that Richmond is putting on in conjunction with the event. So you can go ride Libby Hill, feel like a pro, and then come hear us make jokes about pros. We'll be predicting the women's race and telling you what's going to happen in the men's race as well, both Saturday and Sunday. So, you'll have that to look forward to. It should be pretty cool. Tickets are only $5. The theater has, snacks and beers for sale. So, it's totally worth your $5, I think. I don't know. What else are
Yeah,
you
come
doing?
come hang out with us
Definitely.
on Friday night. I mean, there's booze. You know,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
hang out.
It's like,
y'all
we got-
think heckle us on stage. It will be
got-
great. It'll be
we've
amazing.
got
Tell
the-
us we suck.
We've got the Led
This
Zeppelin
is
4
not-
album, and it's going to be
Yeah, we
pretty
got
cool.
that. You should come over.
Our parents won't be there.
Yeah, they're not gonna be home. We're not
So-
gonna invite them.
Guys, it's been a pleasure. 74 episodes down. The 75th episode, the same week as the Road World Championships in Richmond, Virginia. I will do, hopefully, a live report from the Cross Vegas, or at least some recordings. I'm going to try to go get a selfie with Jan Ulrich. Thank you for listening. You can always subscribe, download us on iTunes or Stitcher. And we want to make sure to thank BK1 of Rhymesters Entertainment for all of the great intro and outro music. And finally, always, always, always wave at your fellow spandex clown cycling nerds.
Yep,
Is that good?
that's great. I like it.
The Slow Ride Podcast. Bikes, advice, and rumors straight from the source. TheSlowRidePodcast.com and on Twitter at The Slow Ride Pod.
Well, I'm really tired, and I have way too much Benadryl in my system, so I don't really care
All right.
anymore.
All right, go on.